So hello, everyone. Today we have Mrs. Mandi Gillis. She is the fabulous principal of Maysville Elementary. So let's show some Mustang pride and welcome her to class.
Yay. Thank you.
Well, Miss Gillis, we like to start with the bell ringer because that's what every good class starts with. So rumor has it that you are fluent in sign language. And I was just wondering, what are some words or phrases that you think everyone should learn?
Uh,
Appropriate for this show.
I was just fixing to say, well, some of them are pretty straightforward, like hello. Thank you is always a good one, where you touch your chin and say thank you. That's always good. Also means you're welcome, depending on the context of the sentence. So please, up here on your chest, please and thank you. I think those are very important words. They get you a lot further than some other words do.
There you go. Please and thank you. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Please. All right,
You're
got it. Okay, so for our essential questions today, first, could you tell us a little bit about how you came to principal in our beloved Jones County Public School System?
Sure. So I spent the last 15 years next door in Onslow County as an assistant principal the last 6 years, I think, before I accepted this position here in Jones County. So I was traveling an hour one way to work each day with a small child at home. So I was looking to get closer to home to be more with my family. And so I actually go to church with Mr. and Miss Kester, and so happened to find out about this position when Mr. Marquis moved, and so I applied and took a shot and got the job. So excitedly so.
And we are glad to have you. Is this year number 2?
Yes.
Year number 2. All right. Growing up, who was your favorite teacher, and how did that person influence kind of your style and educational philosophy?
Okay, so in the 5th grade, I had Miss Metzler, and she was tough, man. Everybody, I was at Swansboro Elementary School, and it was always one of those things. You know how you used to get your letter in the summertime about who your teacher was, and you would open it up, and you're like, it was like that sense. Well, I wanted her, but I didn't want her because she was tough, man. She didn't play games, and so I opened up my letter, and lo and behold, I had Miss Metzler. And that was the toughest yet most rewarding year that I can recall having. So I actually submitted her name when I was in college to the who's who of teachers. And because she had an impact, because she was no nonsense, but I had fun because I knew what the expectations were. And so I kind of feel like that stuck with me a little bit with the other teachers throughout the year. But man, Miss Metzler, she was something. So.
All right, Miss Metzler. How do you think your students will remember you? Either as a teacher or principal, doesn't matter.
I hope that it's for having fun and knowing what's important and knowing that we can have fun while we're doing it. You can come to work or come to school and be miserable all day, and it's going to be a long 8 hours or plus 8 hours plus. But I feel like you can come and you can have fun, and I feel like you can get more accomplished when you're having fun. So I hope that Miss Gillis was kind of fun, and but that and that they knew I loved them. And so those are 2 important things for me. And I feel like the rest of it just kind of falls in place if you got those 2 things.
Yes, ma'am. Speaking of, we mentioned a little bit earlier before the interview, how difficult has it been this year teaching and principaling during the pandemic?
I think the biggest hurdle has been, I think, realizing that we can't do things the way we've always done them, which I hate that statement. I hate when you hear, well, we're going to do it like we did it, or we've always done it this way. And I hate that. But I think it's also important for us this year. We've had to really kind of reconsider how we've done things. And so I think it's kind of been the shove that has been needed in some respect to kind of shake things up a little bit. I'm not interested in shaking it up just for the sake of shaking things up, but sometimes it's a good thing. It kind of gives you that push that you maybe wouldn't have taken on your own. So I feel like that's kind of, I'm hoping that that's what we gain from this pandemic, is kind of moving forward.
It definitely has forced some people out of a rut, and you need that. You need that
Yes.
that change agent. Hopefully it's not a pandemic every year, but you definitely need something to keep things fresh for you.
Yes.
All right. And last essential question. I know that you have also managed a restaurant. So did managing how did that help prepare you for a principalship? Did you
It's
get
funny.
any unexpected insights?
Let's see. Well, here was the different. Well, okay. So here you go. One of the positive things about running the restaurant was there was a 12-week training that I went through. I worked every single position in that restaurant. I had to run the grill, the fry, the sous chef. I had to do it. I had to work every position, and there was a purpose for that.
Mm-hmm.
It was because if we were shorthanded or if I had to let someone go, I needed to be able to step in that position. And I feel like as a leader of a building, I need to be able to do the same thing. If I have to, if somebody gets sick or something comes up and you don't have a substitute or whatever the case is, I need to be able to step in. And that's what I feel like a good leader does, is a good leader fills the gaps. And so I think that's kind of been one of the things. Probably the biggest lesson learned from running a restaurant. And it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I have little pockets of tables out here, and you check on them all day long. You guys doing okay? Do you need anything from me? So, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. And at the end of the day, they go home and they all have pretty big tabs. I mean, they haven't paid any of their bills.
Right. And hopefully they leave you a nice gratuity at the end of this.
Right. I work for 25%, nothing less.
I'm glad I didn't go to your restaurant. All right. So toward the end of the day, we're getting there. We like to call this section sprint to the parking lot.
Okay.
We got to get to our car, but
Right.
you get stopped by any number of crazy questions. So I'm here to stop you with crazy questions.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to tap my paper and get serious with the silly questions. All right. Which word or phrase do you most overuse?
Oh my gosh. These aren't supposed to be like fast ones, are they?
They were, but I didn't mean to stump you with the first one.
Yeah. It is what it is. Right now, it is what it is. I've probably said that. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. I have said that probably 100 times in the last little bit. So the pandemic has definitely impacted my most used phrase.
What's the creepiest thing you could say to someone when passing them on the street?
I have some candy.
What would be your best day ever?
Outside with my family on the boat.
With your family on a boat, preferably with the invitation sent to your friend Michael Parker.
Sure, the more the merrier. Come on.
I just made it your worst day, and I didn't.
That might be on the creepy one. That goes with creepy. No, I'm just teasing you.
I will bring candy. What's your favorite TV show?
CSI, Law and Order,
Uh-oh.
SVU.
Those are
I meant not CSI, SVU.
SVU. And which character best represents Miss Gillis, or your favorite character? Because I don't know if I want any characters from that show representing.
I know. I was just thinking. It's probably. Oh gosh, I don't even know. Maybe Olivia Benson, just because she leads the group. I don't know. Mariska Hargitay.
This is the most speechless I've ever seen you, by the way.
I hope you're recording this too, right? For that purpose.
We'll have proof. If you could talk to one species of animal, which one would it be?
Oh, good night. One of my parents' horses.
Just one horse?
Well, I mean, any of them for that matter, but they live pretty darn good lives.
They do. We have horses all up and down my street, and as I'm doing my walk, I look at them, shake my head. Well, you guys have it.
Yeah, they live pretty good lives.
All right. If you were to teach a class on just one thing, what would you want to teach it on? And it can be outside your school field.
Oh, cooking. I love to cook.
I'm glad you said that, because the next question is, what is your signature dish?
Oh, Probably a pecan pie cake. It takes hours to make, but I do it all from scratch. And in between layers are actually a pecan pie. The filling and the pecan pie in the middle of the layers. So it's glorious. Very rich, though. Very rich.
Is there one kitchen gadget that you can't live without?
My butcher block countertops. I wanted them my whole life. So when we redid the house, I got butcher block countertops, and I love every aspect about them.
Fantastic. Also, since you are a cook, a chef, if you will, is cereal soup?
No, cereal is cereal.
Okay.
I take soup as hot. I know there are cold soups, but to me, soup has to be hot.
There's cold soup.
I know.
I just wanted the answer. I have no answer myself, so we're gonna go with cereal is not soup from here on out. What is the coolest thing you've made with your Cameo silhouette machine?
Oh, goodness. I'm really proud of how the front foyer turned out with the welcome to Maysville Mustangs, home of the Mustangs
Okay.
logo out front.
And you'll snap a picture of that and send it to me so I can then put it right here.
We'll do it.
All right. Thank you. And last question. If someone doesn't like Pepsi, can they really be trusted?
No.
I agree. I went to Atlanta, which is home of Coke, and I just felt icky the entire trip.
Well, I questioned my husband. He's a Coke drinker, so we have both in the refrigerator because he won't drink Pepsi and I don't drink Coke. So we carry both. And there's something about him that's questionable. Still trying to figure it out.
I'd keep your eyes on him. All right, but you made it to the parking lot. You only stumbled a little bit. So before you leave for the day, before you leave the show, we're going to need your exit ticket.
Okay.
And that is if you could just leave our viewers, our parents, students, stakeholders, whomever, one piece of life advice, what would it be?
Never take your family for granted. Family comes first, and that's probably my signature thing. I tell staff that. I tell students that. I think family does come first, and I know I try to take every chance I can to be with mine. So that's probably my imparting wisdom. Seconded with the only disability in life is a bad attitude.
You only get to pick one.
Okay, well.
I saw you snuck the second one in there.
I did.
Put in. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I'm glad that I could stump you just a tiny bit because you're always so on point.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. Make sure you include that in the video too, that I'm on point.
I definitely will not. And we will see you next time. Don't forget to share and like and subscribe.
Bye. There you go. Oh, let me get my coffee cup out of the way.
Notice I put my together every.
I know. So you're at Pollocksville, I see.
Yes, I'm here with your buddy. He's not in here though.
Well, I guess that's the second best place to be if you aren't in Maysville, but okay.